Hello, my name is, well, I don't really have a name. None of us sea turtles do, but for tonight you can call me Tide. I want to tell you my story. It's not fast or flashy, but it stretches across oceans, decades, and tides. If you listen closely, maybe you'll see the world the way I do, through waves, currents, and moonlight. I began my life not in water, but in sand. A grainy, dark chamber beneath the moon. I was one of over 100 brothers and sisters, all packed tightly into a nest dug by my mother's back flippers. I never met her. That's the way it is for sea turtles. She came ashore one night, dug a deep hole with the patience of generations, laid her eggs, covered us with sand, and disappeared into the waves before dawn. For weeks, I grew inside my fragile shell, warmed by the sun above me. Some nights, I felt the vibrations of ghost crabs scuttling over the sand. I heard distant thunder. I didn't know yet that the rhythm I felt was the heartbeat of the ocean, calling me home. When it was time, my shell cracked. Tiny flippers pushed against the heavy sand ceiling. I clawed upward, side by side with my siblings. Together, we dug toward the cool night air. Then, under the stars, I saw it, the shimmering reflection of the moon across the waves. Instinct whispered, "Run," and I did. My flippers flinging sand, my body sliding toward the surf. Every shadow could have been danger. Ghost crabs lunged, gulls circled above, but somehow I reached the water. My first taste of the ocean was salty, wild, endless. I dove under, and the current pulled me away from the beach forever. The years that followed are called the lost years, and even I barely remember them. I was so small, no bigger than your hand. The ocean was a world of giants. I floated among sargassum seaweed, golden rafts that drift endlessly on the waves. It was my shelter, my camouflage, my world. Tiny fish darted around me. Sometimes I ate jellyfish, though the truth is, they stung my mouth more often than I cared to admit. Days turned into years. I grew slowly, doubling in size, then tripling. Storms tossed me across currents like a leaf in the wind. I drifted through waters I would never see again. Many of my brothers and sisters were not so lucky. Only 1 in 1,000 hatchlings grows to adulthood. Some were eaten by fish, others by birds, some simply vanished. But I swam, and I endured, and slowly, the ocean began to feel less infinite. I learned the paths of currents, the migration routes older than memory. I was no longer just surviving. I was becoming a traveler. By the time I was a teenager, if you can call it that, I was as large as a dinner table. My shell hardened, my muscles strong. I left the drifting sargassum beds and swam into deeper waters. Life became a cycle of journeys. I fed on seagrass and sponges, grazed coral reefs, rested in underwater caves. I learned to hold my breath for nearly an hour, sinking into the calm silence of the deep. But always, there was movement. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of kilometers, across currents between feeding grounds and resting places. I was a citizen of the ocean, belonging everywhere and nowhere at once. Other turtles swam near me sometimes, but we were solitary. We did not form pods like dolphins or schools like fish. My story was mine alone. And yet, I was never truly alone. Whales sang in the distance. Sharks patrolled the reefs. Schools of fish shimmered like silver curtains. The ocean was full of voices, and I learned to listen. One day, something stirred inside me, a call I couldn't ignore. It was time to return. No matter where I was in the ocean, I could feel it. The magnetic fingerprint of the very beach where I had hatched. The earth itself guided me, pulling me back across thousands of miles. The journey was long, full of storms and predators, but I swam tirelessly. Days blurred into weeks, weeks into months. And finally, after decades away, I saw it, the faint outline of land beneath the rising sun, my birthplace. When the night was darkest and the tide was high, I hauled myself ashore. Every movement was a struggle, my body built for swimming, not walking. My flippers clawed at the sand, pulling me slowly upward. At last, I found a place above the tide line. I dug and dug until I had carved a chamber deep in the sand. And there, with patience and care, I released the next generation. Dozens, then 100 eggs, soft and round, like white pearls. I covered them gently, tamped down the sand, and turned back to the sea. My part was done. I would return again, perhaps every few years, to lay more eggs. Some would hatch, many would not. But a few, just a few, would crawl to the water as I once did, and begin their own journey. I have seen continents without maps, crossed oceans without sails. My life is measured not in days, but in currents and tides. I began as a hatchling, no bigger than a coin, racing toward the sea. I became a wanderer, a traveler, a survivor. And one day, I returned to the place where it all began, to give life back to the sand. That is my story. I am a sea turtle, timeless and enduring, living proof that even the smallest beginnings can span oceans. Now, as you close your eyes and drift to sleep, imagine the rhythm of the waves, the pull of the tide, and know that somewhere out there I am still swimming,